Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again. I just hit record and we don't even know what we're going to talk about. So, Crap Man, what's going on, man?
Oh, same old thing, man. Just hanging out. About out of breath from arguing with you for the past 30 minutes. But
I got
we good tonight.
I got Kraft yelling at me. I got C Swizzy in the building. What's going on, Swizzy?
Not much. Shit, I'm ready for next week. I'm gonna be busy as fuck.
Busy as fuck what? Losing in the playoffs?
No. Well, in two of the leagues, the first week, I'm not even gonna be playing. So I got the bye week.
I heard that.
And then in average shows, I'm just kind of plugging and playing. Ever since Chris Godwin got hurt, I've been kind of fucked.
Man. And we also got Big Dunk in the building. Big Dunk, how's it going, man? I know he been feeling himself. He been texting, Crap Man. Big Dunk be texting me, just bragging about how good he is at Dynasty all the time. Oh, what's going on, Big Dunk?
Man, not much, man. We're in the game set. We're in game mode right now, man. Playoff time. I ain't got the bye, but I'm gonna work my way to the top. That's what the best do. I'm gonna be like the New York Giants back in the day. I'm taking down Tom Brady's ass in the end.
Hey,
if you get out of that first round, you are gonna be playing Tom Brady of the Dynasty League. Me, motherfucker. Oh. You're gonna be playing Tom Brady.
Stop! I done took your fucking assets away. I'm gonna beat you with them.
In the crew league. In the crew league.
Oh, not that one.
Yep, that's really what we're talking about tonight. The home stretch. I've been seeing it all pretty much the past couple weeks. Well, first of all, thanks for listening to the podcast. And we ain't dropped the episode the past couple weeks because Thanksgiving rolls around and playoffs roll around, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's grind time now. So I've been pissed off the past couple days. Yeah, it's time to get nasty. Yeah. You know, Dunk. I was thinking. Go ahead, Dunk.
Man, I was just going to say, this is how dirty it's getting. I'm starting Mac Jones, only him in a super flex. That's my only quarterback starting this week. We getting dirty, boy. We getting dirty.
Yeah. Getting nasty as fuck. Dunk getting nasty as fuck. But yeah, man, basically, I've seen Dunk messaging in the group. Who's selling? Yada, yada, yada. Who? And heck, I've been doing the same. I've been trying to figure out who to buy.
They don't ever respond, man. I guess they think they're about to win it still.
Ain't nobody selling yet. So basically, Crap Man, I just want to know what's up with you. What's going on? Are you trying to make some moves? I know Dunk's making him some moves, and we'll ask him what kind of players he's looking for. But is there any players out there that off the top of the dome where you're just like, man, I would like to have him for the next 3 games to carry me to a championship?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoarding players right now. I'm trying not to help anybody. That's where I'm at in doo-doo. I got players that I can trade, and I've actually been thinking, I might want to trade with Chris because Chris is going to have a bye. The only way I'd meet Chris in the playoffs is if we meet in the championship because I'm not going to meet him. I was like, maybe I'll trade with him. And but that's the kind of stuff I'm looking at. Like Dunk, he's right there, 1 point away from being the number 1 seed in our division. I ain't giving him shit. He ain't getting nothing from me. If he needs it, he's going to get it somewhere else.
Don't need it. Mac Jones is going to take your ass down.
I hope you're starting Mac Jones in the playoffs.
Nah, man, I got the baby goats. I got Jaden Daniels, JD5, and Drake May.
Couple rookies, man, that Dunk leaned away with that shit. Or not leaned away, but in second or whatever. But yeah, I'm with you. Heck, I just made a trade where I'm thinking about all that stuff of how I ain't made no trades, but I did just make a trade for James Conner. And for those who don't know, we play in the Dynasty League, Doo-Doo Dynasty. It's got divisions. So what Kraft's talking about, Chris getting a bye, is they're in different divisions, so they ain't gonna see each other. But heck, I just made a trade in the division the other day, but it ain't gonna fucking matter anyways because I ain't gonna make the playoffs. So,
Trash.
so it just is what it is at this point. Now I can still make the playoffs, but a Jaden Reed goose egg certainly is not. I can't even talk about it, crap. I might just grab everything and throw it, man.
Hey, I don't know if I'd want to be around you for the last week. Like, you probably just waking up like the girl's like, "How you doing today?" You're like, "Fuck this shit. I hate life."
Hey, this is no joke. After Jameis Winston threw that pick six and I took the L.
I was watching that, bro, and I was like, "There's no fucking way."
Man, bro. I mean, he throws 2 pick sixes that night, but that last one, man, I was like, man, there ain't no fucking way. Under 2 minutes left, I was like, this shit got to be a joke. But the next day, pissed as a motherfucker, man. I was like, about as cranky and as grumpy as you could be. I'm good now. I'm good now, man. I'm good now, though, everybody.
I was winning by like 50 points, and I was playing against Jameis Winston, and I was just sitting there looking, and I was like, there's like a minute something left. This dude's in the red zone. And I was like, oh my God, if he throws another fucking touchdown, then I'll lose. And he threw a pick six. I was like, oh my God.
Man,
Yeah, that's why we got to get them defenses out of there, man. Fuck defenses, man.
Hey, man, they should never be involved in fantasy football from here on out. Fuck it.
I don't mind the defense.
I'm just kidding.
I love it. Seems like it made you very mad, which I like that shit. So I think we keep them.
Hey, this is my real opinion on the defenses. I do like them in redraft, defenses and kickers. Dynasty, though, we need to get that shit out of our dynasty league, though. I think it makes more sense to have it. It makes more sense to have a kicker than a defense in dynasty.
Yeah, I think so. Man, it just kills me. Like, I'll be so close in like a matchup. I think even the matchup with Noah, my defense gets me fucking 0, and then somebody else will get like 12, 15, and it'll make all the difference. Like, what the fuck?
Got to do your research, Dunk. Got to do your defense research, man. You're skipping out. You're
but here's
not
the thing.
diving deep enough.
If everybody's got 2 defenses on their teams, like it's not like you could just stream a defense. Everybody got these defenses on it, but we'll have to start trading defenses, I guess, at some point.
I made a blockbuster trade for the Bucks defense the other week.
What did you do?
Fourth round rookie pick for Tampa Bay defense.
Oh,
that's big time, man. Big time.
Man, look, you could have used that 4th rounder like I did to get Bucky Erb, man. That's where people like him go. You got to snipe them.
Or Malachi Corley.
Dang. You got Bucky Irvin in the 4th round? That can't be true.
No way.
Nah.
Look it up. Look it up.
In what league?
Doo-doo. I think I got him at the 402.
Bucky Irvin did go really late.
How high are you right now?
Hey. Are you believing this crap, man? Bucky Irvin? That might be.
I don't know. I can look it up.
Somebody pull it up. Yeah, somebody pull it up.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, how you do this? You go to draft and something else? History or something?
No, you can just click on my player and you can click on history.
Draft results. 29 rounds. This is the 4-round draft right here. Bucky went. Let's see. He went at the 405 to Dunk.
Oh my God.
That's even later than he said.
I drafted Malachi Corley at the 305.
Oh my God.
Well, shoot, Christopher. What about you? You're making deep runs in all these leagues. You got buys in a couple of them. What's your strategy? You just playing it as is, or you trying to make moves to beef it up?
I mean, I may make some moves in doo-doo, but in the crew league, I'm not really looking to make any moves right now. Like I'll do my little off-season shit. You know, I always end up for somebody that don't ever have any picks. I sure as hell always get some picks. Like, you know, and they seem to pan out for me. But I mean, no, I'm not really like doo-doo. I may ship off a few people just because the trade deadline bullshit that y'all allowed.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. My strategy for that, win or lose, I'm gonna try to make some trades after the last game. But when the playoffs start, whether I'm in or out, I'm definitely not making no trades.
I'm gonna be real mad when I go get Saquon and doo-doo too.
Who's got him? Oh man, I know. In the playoffs, you pick him up in the second round. You know, made it through the first round.
No,
The second
that is
round, you make a
kinda-
trade for second. Hey,
There's
if you
got to be a
play
trade
like
deadline. There's no way we voted to not have a trade deadline. That just blows my mind.
No, because there was a lot of us that was like dead set. You can't be trading the playoffs. Like,
yeah,
Man, I say cast a revote, man. Because I feel like you can't be losing and then sending a fucking player to.
how the fuck we lose the group chat? Somebody ain't got this like saved
I
on
know,
their phone.
It's in there somewhere. It's just we could probably
Deep.
find it. It's just so much like deep in there.
somebody
I
type
don't know,
in.
man. It's
I
like
got
what
too
Chris
many
was saying.
devices to look alike.
It's like what he was saying. Like if Cracker or whoever the fuck has Saquon, like if they lose, all of a sudden they get like a blockbuster to like send him off. It's like what the fuck? It's kind
I'm
of
gonna veto that shit.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate real quick because there's definitely a lot of people out there that
About
don't
to
want
try to
play
go get
no
him
trade.
right now.
Yeah, like what if like the cost is just so much? Like like say the person who owns Saquon's not in the playoffs, and then Chris is like, "Damn, I want Saquon. I got 3 first. I'm gonna throw 3 first out
God.
there." You know,
But
what I'm,
if you're
I'm
in
just
a
being dumb. I'm just
championship,
saying.
though, like championship week, like just 2
What if
teams
you're-
left, and you trade 2 first and go get Saquon, like that just
I know
that
it
team
feels
is
dirty,
gonna be
but
mad.
what
Well,
if
it's like it
he?
defeats the whole purpose of like preparation.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like you didn't even fucking bet on your team. You just kind of got lucky and got in there. Well, maybe you did, but still, it's like what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with that either. But what about a different? What about say you had Bijan in week 16 done for the year, and then you traded Bijan for Saquon straight up? He was like, "I'm doing that." Well, I mean, I don't even know if you would do that anyways because Saquon's just going off. But I'm just saying, the price is there a price where you was like the price is like I feel like in the playoffs, if you were really trading in the playoffs, the price has got to be steep. You know what I'm saying? You'd be taxing like a
I would hope.
motherfucker. And these losing teams might could capitalize on something like that. You're getting a little extra. You never get stuff at this price, but since this dude's at the playoffs, he's giving me all this. You see what I'm saying? I'm with you though. I would rather have a trade deadline no matter what. But I think now after seeing Doodoo, I'm glad that I can see that heck, I'm either in or out, and I could sell or buy before the playoff starts.
I like where you have to make a decision, like at a deadline and decide, hey, I am going for it or I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, what do we
same.
do,
But
Dunk?
I mean, I don't.
Dunk, what do we do?
I
We
was
do it
just
right
gonna
after. Go ahead, Dunk.
My bad. I was just gonna
No,
say,
you're
like,
good.
I like having it at the end of the season at least. Like right before playoffs, your fucking roster should be the same all the way through it.
Yeah, agree.
I'm just gonna put the trade deadline in there tonight, and if people bitch about it, then I'm just gonna be like,
I say just revote on it.
I don't
Like,
think they
like,
will. I think David might say something about it, but I don't even. What does it matter? Is he gonna quit the league because of trade deadline? He's down there at the bottom, anyways. Unless he's like really thinking.
We got 3 playoff teams, maybe 4 with Matt. I don't know, but
Who knows?
It's only the first
they're
year.
saying we don't
for
want a
David.
deadline.
I
We
hate
should be the
Thanks,
ones
David.
who don't want it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it definitely affects us a lot more than it does fucking David and the Galanis.
Yeah.
Hey man, don't be sneak dissing.
Man, this man David's rebuilding in both leagues and has the audacity to tell me that he ain't selling Derek Carr for anything less than a first. Come on now. Like, what the fuck?
Man.
I can't believe some of these people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this year. I mean, crap. I was saying before the episode how we didn't see too many trades in Average Joe's, but I think just this season in general, I feel like I didn't see as many trades as I've seen in the past. I mean, I've seen trades some seasons where it's like shoot, but then this year I felt like it was more calm, more people trying to figure out if they buying or selling or not. This year, I don't know. I just felt like the vibe was a little bit different, and I don't think it was because people don't want to trade, although some people are stingy. But
Yeah.
Shit, that's why you got to do it in the off season, man. You got to buy low. That way they get, just better.
It is. We talked about this on previous episodes. I do think if you're buying players, not picks, you don't really want to buy picks in the offseason. You want to buy picks in the season. But, like, I think me and Dunk were just buying players in the offseason over and over again. Like, because they're cheaper.
Right.
Just picks are worth so much in the offseason. That's all people got to think about.
Hey, and especially when you start getting like little rookie mocks out there and stuff, and you're actually putting players to numbers and 104s and 105s and stuff like that, that's when it really starts getting. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
And Marvin Harrison ain't helped nobody win no championship.
Nah,
but that is like kind of the mentality I had whenever I was approaching the offseason. I was like, damn, I'm gonna buy these rookies. Like, go ahead and take a bet on them, take a risk, because I believe in the guys. That way, if they pan out, then shit, I just made back what I gave up, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you pay attention to some rookie stuff too. So check out our rookie stuff. Hey, we don't even have a game plan for the rookie stuff. We'll just knock it out when we get to it, I guess.
Oh yeah. Start watching all that tape and shit, figuring out these players, making sure Bucky don't fall to the 4th round.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to do like a well, I guess what would it be, like a remock to see exactly how it looked like in a Superflex league.
Yeah. Yeah,
I guess Jay Daniels be one.
Probably, yeah. Yep. I think I would agree. You take Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams, Craftman? I know you would.
You asked it, yeah, you definitely asked the wrong one. You should be asking me if I take Drake May over Caleb Williams.
I think there's an argument there. I really do.
Damn. I don't know about that one.
No, Bo Nix over Caleb. That's really the one.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Hey,
and I can't stand Bo Nix, too. That man's he's actually pretty good, man. I've been watching him play. They look pretty
Taking
good.
Bo Nix over Caleb and Drake May.
Hey,
yeah, probably would.
Listen,
too.
I'm not going to sit here and act like that's crazy because Bo Nix was great value in Superflex draft. I'm going to be real. I think when I do Superflex rookie stuff, I'm going to be skeptical of quarterbacks for the next couple of years because I feel like this class just hit like crazy. I mean, with all these guys. I mean, I even think Penix is good. You know what I'm saying? I know he's sitting on the bench for probably the whole year, but it's like, damn, all these dudes are hitting. Bo Nix was a great value in Superflex. I mean, in our doo-doo league, he went at the 201. That's great value, man. Now you could, if you wanted to sell him, you could get a haul for him. I mean, if you wanted to. I like Bo Nix. He rushes too, so go ahead, Dunk.
Man, that was the thing that we were talking about beforehand, too. Pay attention to these college players and their careers, too. The more time they spend in college, it seems to be better for them at times.
Getting some reps. I talk about it, the Craftman, all the time, talking about these quarterbacks. You know, if they can get some reps and reps and reps. That's why I like the Trey Lance and Anthony Richardson. I know Anthony Richardson is doing his thing a little bit, but those guys they didn't even play that much. You know what I'm saying? These guys Bo Nix was in college 19 years. The dude's 35. I mean, so of course he's seen so much. But real talk, he was in the league. He was in college for 5 years for real. I mean, I think it was 2 in Auburn and 3 in Oregon. That's a lot of reps. Jaden Daniels was at Arizona State for 2 or 3, and then went to LSU for a couple. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Got to get them reps in. That's going to be one thing I'm definitely looking at, even for these lower guys, because Bo Nix wasn't thought of as these top whatever. I can't even remember what it was last year. Top 2, top 3 of what it was like. Or I guess really a top 1 really was what people were thinking, really. Top 1. So
yeah.
I tell you what I learned in off season, not just based on like the rookie hype and stuff, but just regular NFL hype. If you're an NFL team who's getting all the love in the off season, I think what I'm gonna learn from this previous year is if an organization sucks all the time, they're still gonna suck. The Jets, they still suck. The Bears, they still suck. Browns, they still suck. Like they just keep sucking. And in the off season, that's all you hear when you turn on NFL Network is because who's got the higher draft pick. That's all they're talking about is draft picks and shit. But they're just gonna keep sucking.
Yeah. Man, I agree 1,000% talking about organizations that are buttoned up we say it all the time, talking about organizations that are buttoned up. The only ones that are in my life for real that like you see that are bad, like Detroit, what they've done, feels like they're super buttoned up right now. You know what I'm saying? And then
that's crazy.
But the Jets, man,
they
tricked everybody. Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, they tricked everybody. Garrett Wilson ain't worth much. I can't even put him in my. I don't even feel good in my lineup.
Man, it's Aaron Rodgers' effect, man. He's dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, like in a market, like realistically, at this point, what do you think you're going to get for Garrett Wilson? Because you have to think of it this way: Rodgers is probably not going to be under center next season.
Even if he is.
Even if he is, it doesn't look good. And even if he's not, are they going to be drafting a quarterback, or are they just going to be rolling with whatever they can pick up?
Well, let's talk about Wilson. Go ahead, Dunk.
I think he'll still be like a wide receiver 2-3, like with some upside just because of the pure volume that he'll get. They're definitely going to scheme things up for him. They ain't really got a choice. But yeah, it's definitely not ideal.
Scheming for him.
It ain't ideal though, in terms of like him being a wide receiver 1. I don't think.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think at least for right now, that's kind of over with. Of course, anything can happen because he's a good player. I mean, hell, I saw that one where he broke off on that fade, and Aaron Rodgers just that motherfucker, bro. I was like, oh my god, dude.
Go ahead, Crap Man.
I was just gonna ask, like, if you were a team who had Garrett Wilson and you're competing, would you feel pretty comfortable trading him for a veteran to help you win this year, like Mike Evans?
I mean, I got him, and yeah, if someone sent me a trade, I definitely would do that.
For Mike Evans?
I might would want some. Maybe I would want someone different than Mike Evans. Mike Evans is like really old.
Because Mike Evans is like 31 now. It'd be a good trade, like to make to where you kind of know that Mike Evans, not Mike Williams, he's fucking ass, but Mike Evans, like he's gonna get the volume and stuff like that. But in terms of dynasty, that really is only gonna help you for like the next few games through the playoffs.
I feel like that's the assessment you got to make, though. So if somebody come at me like that, like if I was in the Cruise League, in my main league, that the where I stand and just had already won and everything, I think I would definitely take Garrett Wilson from Mike Evans and all that stuff. If you ain't got nothing to lose, I mean, I'm talking about I'll send CD right now to try to win. You know what I'm saying? But that's just where I stand. But I mean, what's another guy? Crap Man, what's another guy? Give me another one.
I mean, you wouldn't do this straight up, but you'd have to get something on top. But the wide receiver 6 on the season right now is Cortland Sutton. Would you trade Garrett Wilson for Cortland Sutton in a late first or second or?
Hell no. Hell no, man. I'm just going to
the wide receiver 6
I'm just kind of at the point where I wouldn't go first for Garrett Wilson.
What about Terry McLaurin?
Ooh, Chris, you wouldn't give
I might would do that, maybe.
I'll definitely take Terry McLaurin. You said Terry McLaurin?
For Wilson.
Oh, Terry McLaurin has just only looked even better with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
and
man.
The kid's he's only, 28? He just turned 28.
What's lower? Cooper Kupp. What about Cooper Kupp?
Nah, he ain't been good enough.
What about Cooper? What do you mean? Let me go check the game line, man. Let me go check my guy.
What about
Cooper
like
Kupp, kind of like Mike Evans though? Like you're kind of stuck in that same.
What about like cross position, like Joe Mixon?
Oof.
But see, my thing is like
you got to do it this year. Got to.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's a good
trade
for
like
Joe Mixon
cross
guys,
position that much though, just because like it feels like wide receivers are a lot more valuable than running backs. Like it's easy to be stacked at running back. I feel like. In these leagues.
But when do you give up on a prospect like Garrett Wilson as being like he's going to be a number 1 on a given year, like a top 12 wide receiver? Because it ain't happening. Like he ain't even sniffing top 12 in his first 3 years.
Man, I think you give up. I think you give up after his fucking rookie deal expires and you get to see what he does in free agency.
Damn. Yeah, get out of New York.
Because if he goes to a situation, then like it's all changed.
Man, but you got to think, man. They draft him so high. He's probably there 4 plus a 1 year out. Then probably 5. He's probably there what?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think it's like done. I mean, it's the same thing you can make for like Terry McLaurin or somebody like that. Like a quarterback change, like clearly changes things drastically. Right. And Garrett Wilson for sure has the fucking talent. It's more or less or just like if you're a rebuilding team, it's like an easy hold. But the question is, if you're a competing team, what are you willing to get for him?
Well, like I said earlier too, shitty teams stay shitty. I mean, looking at Terry McLaurin before this year, he was this is his previous years, wide receiver 28, 14, 25, 20, 29. Right. I mean,
and now
is that Garrett Wilson? Is that really a guy that should be a top 12 dynasty wide receiver? Somebody who just probably going to be like a wide receiver 25 every year?
I would argue that Garrett Wilson is more talented, though, in my opinion. So I definitely think the ceiling is higher based off.
I think that their game is pretty similar. I think they're pretty similar.
I think Garrett Wilson's a better route runner, in my opinion.
A little younger.
Yeah, I can see like better route runner. I just think that Terry's gets better separation.
Yeah. Who's better? Who was a better prospect, or DJ Moore or Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson, I feel like.
I mean, prospect coming in as far as draft, because DJ Moore was a first-round pick too.
Yeah. He was like, before last year, he was wide receiver 6, but 22, 19, 20, 18. That's just bad quarterback play over and over again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what Garrett Wilson is going to be.
And yeah, you got to think too. I mean, even with those years that DJ Moore did that, like he's not scoring the fantasy points, but you go look at his stats, he's putting up 1,000-yard seasons, but it's not translating to fantasy for you.
Yeah. Even that wide receiver 6 season last year, he had a game where he scored like 50-something points, and the rest of the games were like not even usable.
Yeah, that one's tough. I think this for sure. The upside that you was wanting him to be top. I mean, before we came into the year, I was saying the tier 1 was like 4 people. So like, and you were probably hoping you want him to get up in that tier 1. That's what you're probably hoping with him and Aaron Rodgers. I feel like that upside has got to be done with. So then my question was be like, how far are we dropping this guy as far as like what his value is? So like saying a dynasty ranking, what is this man's dynasty ranking right now? And then how does that correspond with his value?
Well, let's just do dynasty. Well, I'll put a couple names as dynasty rankings, and y'all tell me who you'd rather have just in general in dynasty. George Pickens or Garrett Wilson?
Oh, Garrett Wilson for me.
I'll take George Pickens.
Man, I'm going to be real. That one's so I can't. I don't even know.
Say Garrett Wilson is at the wide receiver 12. He's above JSN and below Brian Thomas.
I don't think he's above JSN.
I don't think so, but I think he's above George Pickens, which is 2 spots below him.
What's another player?
You would rather have JSN than Wilson? That was the next one I was going to ask.
I would.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Dang.
And Jigba, that motherfucker is a technician, bro. I mean, that kid is so good. They just got to start incorporate him more like they have been. I'm telling you, they just need to run DK as the decoy. He's not that good, bro. He's not that good. Just feed JSN.
Well, Kraft, where do you stand, Kraft, with Pickens and what's his
Ben
name?
Wilson? I'd take Pickens. Wilson's pretty. I would say Wilson's pretty low. I mean, it would be. Ladd.
Oh man, I would say Wilson over Ladd, but dang, I don't know. Ladd's been just doing his thing.
Better team, better quarterback.
And we say situation matters, but I try not to let it affect me too much. But his situation is so shitty.
Garrett Wilson's dropped a good bit for sure. Like, what about Zay Flowers?
Man, I think I want Zay. I would try if I was working that deal though. I would try to get Zay plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does anybody want Garrett Wilson right now though?
you could get him cheap, then I would stash him. But
what's the price? Chris said he don't even want to send a first for Garrett Wilson.
I'm just saying older veterans, like, I mean, if you weren't competing, let's just say not like an old veteran like Mike Evans, like, what if you wanted a guy that would be there for, a couple, like 3 years or something, instead of,
so you're looking at like your Terry McLaurin's, your
Tyreek maybe.
Tyreek. Yeah, Dunk had said Tyreek.
Well, Tyreek is kind of like at a buy low spot right now.
Yeah.
If you think he's going to be good these next couple, or I mean, what's the word on him? I mean, I always bring up his contract thing with him. Did he extend, or he just got more money? That's all that happened, right? He just got more money, but his contract's still the same, I think.
I think so.
They just moved money around where he got paid more, like up front.
Right. Okay, so I don't know. I mean, just depending on what you think about Tyreek and how long he plays, that might be a way to roll.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson definitely done. I mean, another guy that dropped even further than Garrett Wilson is Chris Olave. I mean, he's pretty much useless now.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's in a bad situation, and I don't know that. Like, what's the deal with that? Yeah,
they're talking about that. Like his shit's kind of like Tua. They don't want this dude to play. Like they're talking to him about not playing anymore. Because I mean, like we talk about Tua had them. I mean, Chris Olave has had 4 concussions over like a certain amount of period, and they're watching that. I was reading something about it the other day.
Would you trade a second for Olave?
Man, I would not. I would not.
Second.
Nah. I'm gonna take it back. I definitely would trade a late second. I would even trade. Man, I would take a shot if it's gonna be that low. If his value's gonna be like that, I would take a shot with a late second.
Yeah, I would send a second.
Yeah, I think you can get that done.
Yeah, same. Well, I don't know. I
don't know. Let me try it with old David real quick. See if we can get it done.
Send him on out. I already know.
David normally declines my trades pretty quick, so we should know here soon.
Well, a competing team would be more willing to get rid of Olave than a rebuilding team. Like I got Olave in my other dynasty league, and shoot, I would take. It's a 10-man league, so a second would be, especially if I thought it was like an early second, like that would be like the 13th, 14th pick or something.
Right.
I would definitely get rid of Olave real quick.
I agree with that. Yeah, that definitely a couple values that have cratered. Man, what you call it? I was gonna say something about where y'all thought Drake London landed, and because I was looking at him, he was like the court running. Well, you said Cortland Sutton was wide receiver 6, so. But I was just wondering, what were your thoughts?
Wide receiver 7.
So Drake London is 7, or?
Yeah, 7. I'm gonna start going to season average to make it a little bit more.
My opinion on Drake London right now is I would say because listen, the reason why we always talk about Garrett Wilson and Drake London is because in my main league, I'm willing to send out CD. And the offers I got were guys like Garrett Wilson and Drake London. So it just really made me take a look at what, basically, I will just say this, what I realized, Craftman, is there really are just levels to this shit when it comes to really the elite assets and I think from like tier 1 to tier 2, even though I think there's a lot of players that might be in tier 1, there's like a kind of a big drop off between tier 1 and tier 2. I'm not gonna say a big drop off, but it's like if Drake London, I would say he's probably close to the top of tier 2. You know what I'm saying? Or mid to top. But CD, and I would say he's playing with Cooper Rush and all this, so you would probably say he's probably at the bottom of tier 1. So then when you're comparing CD, you're comparing Drake London. This is one of Drake London's best seasons. We're looking at. And CD's over here with Cooper Rush. He just pretty much sat out the whole Thanksgiving game, and he's still ahead of people like Drake London, Garrett Wilson, players like that. But it just makes me think that these tier 1 guys, when you get these tier 1 guys, you really want to just ride them out and win some championships.
Oh, yeah. Drake London is tough. I do think he's like right there at the top of tier 2. But a lot of the players, receivers especially, that were at like the top of tier 2 had dropped so far in just one season. Just that quick. But what I can say about like CD is like it's the Jamar Chase effect of last year. I think it's always a good idea to buy the receivers whose quarterback is injured, especially like a longer term injury, like the Brian Thomas effect. If he plays really bad the last couple weeks, be time to go try to get him a lot cheaper than you would have like say week 5. I mean, you could have got Jamar Chase a good bit cheaper last year when he was rolling with Browning. I mean, it still would have been expensive, but you could have got him a little cheaper. Same thing with CD. You remember what his value was last year? Like week 13, 14? Like you couldn't get CD for shit.
Nah. Now, well, heck, I mean, I've just been offering up some deals, and there are some players that I want that I would take for CD, like, and even in a straight up situation. But it's like those guys, they don't like Nico. I'd trade CD for Nico for a playoff run. But I'm also going against somebody who's competing, and they would rather have Nico too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it's close. It would be calling your shot as far as like if you was a rebuild and you was a dynasty team. But I got one more player to bring up, and I'm pretty much whatever y'all want to talk about the rest of the night. But Chris has been talking about in every league, Brian Thomas Jr. And so he wanted to try to acquire him. I had already been thinking about that shit. I had already been thinking about in my main league, if I lose this week and this week, what am I going to do to get Brian Thomas Jr.? So basically, my question is what's up with him? Where do we rank him now after seeing like Marv? And I don't want to overreact or nothing like that, but we've seen Marv, we've seen Malik Neighbors, and we've seen him pop off. But got Brian Thomas Jr., we got him linked to Trevor Lawrence. Chris, where would you, if you was ranking those 3 guys, or if you wanted to add some other wide receivers in the mix, I mean, how would you do that? I mean, would you take Brian Thomas Jr. above somebody like Marv? I feel like some people would. I don't know if I would yet, but
it's hard to tell. Like, the play has been inconsistent. The biggest thing that I do like about Brian Thomas is that the kids. Like, when you look at his target share is ridiculous. I mean, he's getting, like, all of these targets. Everything is being thrown to this kid. And even with Mac Jones there, they're still getting him the ball. It's not as efficient as maybe Trevor Lawrence or something like that, but they are still actively trying to use this kid. And what benefits you this year, which Brian Thomas, is that Travis Etienne is playing like dog shit. Tank Bigsby had some flashes, but he's not been getting anything going. He's been hurt. Their offensive line, which has been neglected for fucking years, they build all these pieces and they don't work on the line, and now they're fucking, they suck for it. But Brian Thomas is benefiting from that. But Marv, you're talking about a fucking generational wide receiver prospect. The kid is, like, the plays that he's made are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray likes to fuck around. And, like, I don't know. I only like having James Conner on that team. I'm not going to lie. Or McBride. Something like that. Just because, like, it fluctuates. And it has since Kyler Murray has been there. The wide receivers over there, they fluctuate. Hollywood Brown had a really good run. And then, of course, he got hurt and everything. Yeah. But I didn't think that was going to sustain.
Crap, what you think about it?
I mean, D-Hop had some good years with Kyler, like 2 or 3, but...
but I mean, that's DeAndre Hopkins. You're talking about a fucking...
Yeah. He's a different kind of... They're not using Marv the way I thought they would. He's just been used, like, deep down the field, like deep shots, 50-50 balls, like George Pickens or something. They need to use him as, like, a target monster. Like, they need to move him around the formation and get him involved, like, intermediate routes and just get the ball in his hands, but they're not doing that. But as far as Brian Thomas goes, it's just a perfect recipe. You got a shit defense and a shit team who's going to be losing all the time, but you have a above average, probably top 15 quarterback that's going to be there for a long time. And say what you want about Trevor Lawrence, you put him on a good team. You put him on the Niners or the Vikings or something. They'd be 10-2 right now. But I mean, it's just I want Brian Thomas because I trust the quarterback. I trust the quarterback play more than I do when I talked about like shitty situations, shitty teams like the Jets and the Bears. That's mainly because their quarterbacks are bad, and they're usually always bad. But the Jaguars is a different situation. They're just bad. Everything is bad except for the quarterback.
Yeah, I would argue that real football, shitty situation, fantasy football, might be as good as a situation as you could be in for a wide receiver like Brian Thomas Jr. Because,
look at the Bengals.
Yeah, for real. Agreed. Oh, man, good point, Crab, man. That's why we got you on the pod, man. Brought you out here.
Shit like that.
But I'm with you, though, and my thing is with Brian Thomas Jr. now is because even though there's a shitty situation in real football, it's like a real good situation in fantasy football. So it's not like he's it's tougher with him because he's not like a buy low is what I'm saying. The dude's still good. He's not sneaking up on nobody. You know what I'm saying? If anything, his value's probably risen a little bit or probably a lot of it. And I don't know. So basically my thing is if you want to get Brian Thomas Jr. today, I think your way to pay up and get him is you got to take one of your good players and tear down and get Brian Thomas Jr. And that's about the only way I could say you could get him, I think.
You definitely got to just call your shot with him because you're not going to get him for cheap. I mean, a player I was thinking like A.J. Brown. I think that's probably like
straight up
the tier. Yeah, like straight up. But I agree with what you said is take a top tier guy and tear down is probably the best way to get him. You're probably not going to tear up. You're probably not going to take an average receiver and tear up and just adding a little pick to get Brian Thomas because the person who got him, they're probably really wanting to see what like how he's going to progress too. So you're gonna have to trade a player who's already done it.
Yeah. Well, shoot, fellas. I mean, that's all I got for tonight. Kraft, was there anything you wanted to bring on up?
No, I mean, I'm good.
It's funny. The truth is I said at the beginning of the episode, we didn't know what we was going to talk about. The truth is we really didn't know what we was going to talk about. We just started talking, and we put together all kinds. I'm talking about from trade deadlines to to fucking rookie mocks. I mean, we do it all. We talk it all here at the Cruise Dynasty Podcast, and really, like always, we always say thanks for listening, but we really about to start changing some shit up, big time. And Chris been working hard lately and doing some things for us, and I mean, heck, I really don't know what else to say, Craft, except for just everybody, y'all just come join our little community, and hopefully we're gonna get some things rolling this offseason, try to get maybe some leagues started, some best balls rolling around, stuff like that. So been putting in the work behind the scenes, getting y'all set up. See Swizzy been doing that thing. Crab man, anything you want to say to the good folks out there?
I mean, just appreciate everybody for listening to us, and you know, appreciate y'all listening to gambling content. We didn't get it out last week, but we're gonna keep getting it out about every week and start hitting some of these, some more of these dynasty just sit and talk type episodes like we did tonight.
Yeah,
those are always the good ones.
Yep, I would say that. I apologize for the gambling because Thanksgiving week rolls around. Been busy these past couple weeks, but heck, no doubt. Next Thursday, what week are we on? Week 15? Is that will be next week? Shit done flew by, man.
Shit went from having fun to being stressful real quick.
That is the truth, man. We should just put a little exclaimer on our description, like, "Hey, at the end of the year, we working on our own teams. Might not get an episode this night. I'll be trading all day, crap, man, and to not even get a trade done." You know what I'm saying?
I was freaking out in Average Joe's once I seen Christian McCaffrey go down, and I was like, "Oh shit! At least I got Jordan Mason." I didn't even know. I was still trying to trade Mason. I didn't see the news just like Michael did, and I was sitting there trying to trade him. And Noah messaged me. He He was like, "You just crazy as fuck for trying to trade Mason like that. You just trying to rip somebody off." I was like, "I didn't even know he was on IR."
Well, that day they put him on IR and then took him, like, the sleeper app was kind of being weird. It would be like, it was saying has changed to questionable, and then it went IR, and then it went back to out.
Yeah.
And then it stayed on out, and then went to IR, then it went back to out. And I was like, what the fuck is this dude hurt, or like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
yeah, I saw that.
You're talking about, like, if he plays, you're talking about a potential league-winning fucking running back if he plays.
Yeah, when I saw it exactly what Chris was talking about, I was like, oh, there's hope. I saw he was on the IR. Then he saw it go to out, and I'm like, oh, he might be back.
What would you trade for Garendo if you were a playoff team?
I'd probably just avoid that shit.
Yeah, I'd avoid it, but a second. That's the way to go. I mean, that's pretty standard right there in that situation, I feel like. If you want to get rid of them, it's probably got to be a second. If you want to buy them, you ain't going.
I feel like a second is a good starting point for, like, anything that you're unsure of. Because, you know, like, if you throw a mid-second or something out there, like, for something like that, like a player that's probably not going to play that long, you got to think, I mean, what are your options of getting a better player in the second round? I mean, I know we just said Bucky Irving went in the fucking fourth round, but was Bucky Irving going to be getting as many touches if Rachaad White's efficiency didn't drop tremendously and Rachaad White wouldn't get hurt? Like, was Bucky Irving going to see the field that much this year?
Yeah. That's a good episode to have. I was just thinking about that. We should hit up an episode of biggest bust and biggest breakouts of the season.
Yeah. And Rachaad White's still doing fine, like, fantasy-wise. He's all right. He's like, I mean, he's downgraded. He was like a RB1. Yeah. You got to think, last year, him and Christian McCaffrey were, like, as far as, like, receptions and stuff was up there. Like, but I mean, he's done. He's definitely, like, he's startable. But you're looking at, like, mid-range RB2, sometimes RB3. You're no longer looking at RB1.
Yeah. I've asked everybody this question: if Christian McCaffrey comes back next year, goes to training camp perfectly fine, where does he get drafted in redraft?
I mean, he's probably going to go in the first round, but I just wouldn't do it.
Who would you take over him next year? Like, I think he'd go in the late first, probably, like 109 or something.
Well, you definitely take
Josh Jacobs,
Saquon, Kyron, Bijan,
Devon Achane. I would take Achane.
Jacobs, if he stays with the Packers.
I feel like he probably will. So, yeah, I'd probably take Jacobs. I don't know. Is that the cutoff right there? Jacobs and CMC? What's up?
Yeah, I mean,
somebody.
I'm Mixon if he stays with Houston. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Montgomery.
I mean, Gibbs has been good, but Gibbs is just really just, like, that's the word. He's been good. He hasn't been great. Like, he scores about 15 every week.
Yeah.
He don't get into the 30s. And
well, that's just because as soon as they hit the fucking 25-yard line, out comes David Montgomery to punch that bitch.
Hey.
If I see on Prize Picks, if you see David Montgomery 0.5 rushing touchdowns, just hit the fucking over.
For real.
Just hit it. Like, if it's not multiple touchdowns, hit it. Because, I mean, they have, like, the best fucking red zone offense in the league.
Man, they're killing it. Gibbs is like somebody I'd rather have for Dynasty than redraft. Not to say I wouldn't want him in redraft, but it's like Dynasty, throw him in your lineup, consistent all the way through, staying healthy. Redraft, you just, it's just a little bit off the top, but I'm with you. CMC probably going down there, and I'm with you. Probably like where Saquon was going this year, up in that area.
Take Derrick Henry again over him if he's with Baltimore again.
Yeah, probably. Why not? Just ride it till you fall, man.
Mm-hmm. That's the way Mike Evans gonna be on my team until the motherfucker can't even go out there and run no more. I'm gonna just have him.
Y'all got anybody in redraft that y'all just refuse to draft? Like, anybody that's just like, I ain't doing this shit again? Because Christian McCaffrey's on that. I mean, he would have to go like late second for me to even. I'll just let somebody else do it. That's probably the wrong advice to give too, because it's like he gets injured and then he's the best, and then he gets injured, then he's the best.
I with what was going on at the beginning of the year. That's why I was like, this dude maybe plays like 3 games. And I said that so many times. And I was like, this dude is not going to play. He's going to get hurt.
I'm gonna be
now
real,
he's
Chris.
done fucking strained.
You were saying
I was saying that before
any of them reports. Yeah, for real. That's crazy. All right, then. Well, shoot, Chris, you got anything you want to say to the folks out there, to the good people?
Yeah, just thanks for listening. Be on the lookout. We're gonna make some moves.
Yeah, definitely making some moves. I mean, that's really all I can say. We making some moves. So just check us out. Look for us to do some different things. But shout out to Dunk. Had to hop off a little earlier, but Dunk, he's been joining the pod with us more often. Love to see it. But yeah, with that said, I think that about sums it all up. So we out.
Peace.